Hey, everybody. It's Michelle Clark with Lift Life Coaching Solutions, where we are living inspired, free, and transformed. I had done a pre-recorded video. I actually posted it on my private page, or say my personal page, Michelle Clark. But I was just moved to come on to Lift and talk about just this thing comeback. It's like within me. It's like it's boiling up inside of me because I had an experience in the past 10 days where my son was in the hospital. His sodium levels were sky high. Now, it's not because he ain't no fried chicken, nothing like that. He's tube fed. So it's controlled, right? And so it's like, well, what the heck? I took him to the doctor just for it wasn't a routine check, but there was something going on with him. And it was something unrelated to sodium. But it turned out when they drew labs that they found out his sodium level was high. And they called me that evening. Now, when the hospital calls you in the evening, that ain't no joke. So, of course, I'm answering. I'm like, okay, lady, hurry up and get to the point. What's going on? What's going on with the labs? And so she tells me I need to bring him in like ASAP to the emergency department. I'm like, whoa. And they said basically that they need to slowly get his sodium levels down so that way he doesn't have seizures because he has a history of seizures, and also so that he doesn't have any brain swelling. That's serious. We get there and he has to get lab after lab. And I'm talking about not just the emergency department. Look, I'm just getting so welled up inside. My words are just falling over each other. But we get there and we stay overnight. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, it's just an overnight stay. I only packed my bags for overnight. Next thing you know, 10 days later, we're getting discharged. And between that period, between those 10 days, my son was getting poked. Every 4 hours, they wanted to draw labs. They were coming in the room. You had pulmonary coming in the room. You had dietary coming in the room. You had the regular doctors rounded coming in the room. You had what is that? With the kidneys. You had nephrology coming into the room. You had like all these doctors coming into the room. When I say coming in the room, sometimes they stayed out because of COVID, but we met within the area because they were rounding and figure out how we're going to get these levels down. Now, I had to pause here because this story, y'all, ain't about me having a comeback. Well, see, when I did the comeback on my personal page, it was about me bouncing back. Let me take a sip here, y'all. Hold on. I wanted to put this on. I wanted to come back on and post this because this is about my son's comeback, y'all. My son, during this 10 days, he had the most upbeat personality like ever. And on my personal page, Michelle Clark, Michelle, Michele, y'all can go check it out. And you can flip through and you can see that every post I put up there, that little boy was either laughing, singing, dancing, doing what he does, looking like how KJ always looked. He did not waver from it, y'all. He was consistent. So you might say to yourself, well, then what do you mean by comeback? Because on the inside, he had some things going on that was bringing him down on the inside. On the outside, you never, ever, ever would have known what was going on with him, y'all. It reminds me of a duck, that you see a duck, you see them at the top of the water and they look so graceful, whatever, and just swimming, doing what they do. But honey, if you stuck your head beneath that water, you see them little feet just going and going and going, right? And that was my son. And so his comeback story is not just comeback because his health now has improved and he was discharged. But the true testimony is that while he was going through, y'all, he never wavered. He was the same old KJ. It reminds me of a song by Genuine, same old G. He was the same old KJ all the way through. Even when they was waking him up in the middle of the night to poke him, even when they was prodding him and looking at him and taking his heartbeat and giving him his breathing treatments, all those things, you saw KJ being KJ. And I'm going to tell you what, That story inspired me like nobody's business. That's what helped to keep me going when I was in the hospital with him those 10 days. Some of the times my mind was wondering, like, man, I was supposed to be doing this, I was supposed to be doing that. And I just would look over him and I would laugh. I would look over him and I would laugh. And I said, let me take a picture. I take selfies with him. Some of them I posted, some of them I didn't. I took videos of him. Some of them I posted, some of them I didn't. But the bottom line was every one that I posted looked just like the ones I didn't post. KJ was the same old KJ, y'all. So I'm saying to you today, I'm inspired by this little boy. You be inspired. I don't know. If you're not inspired by his story, I don't know what to tell you. You might want to do one of these or one of these and figure out what's going on. Because I've talked to grown folks, me myself as a grown folk, have gone through, and sometimes you can see our butts dragging on the ground, honey. We so far down. You wondering, well, Lord Jesus, what's going on with you? And the person, oh man, just got this going on in my life. And then another person passed by, dang, they looking at you and say, what's going on with you? Well, this didn't happen, and that didn't happen, and I just don't know what I'm going to do. But KJ was the same, okay, a little child with special needs who has had challenges all his life, found it in himself to just keep going through and being who he is. Now, I know I'm past the 3-minute mark, y'all. I know I'm on 6:29 going on 6:30. But I just had to share this story because as grown people, when we are going through, we have a look on the outside that the whole world would know it. So be inspired by this little boy who is like the little duck in the water, swimming, 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 feet paddling underneath, body is fighting underneath, and on the top, easy breezy, singing Bingo. One of the songs he was singing. And I've got to stop and take a break. A break for station identification, y'all, and got to give it up to God. Because when I said, but KJ, the first thing that came to my mind was, but God. But God brings us through. And I want you all to understand that whoever it is, whomever it is, whatever it is for you, whatever that source is for you, plug into it, y'all. Tap into it. If it ain't God for you, if it's Allah, if it's Buddha, if it's whomever, whatever you call it, you might be the sun, it might be energy, it might be atmosphere. It doesn't matter what it is for you. But understand, you gotta tap into something that's bigger than you, something that's greater than you. You gotta tap into that. It's like a phone that if it just keeps going and going and going, and you never plug it into the source, it's going to die. So I'm telling you, I'm asking you, I'm begging you, tap into something that's greater than you, that's going to get you through. And if it's not that, look, take my son's story, be inspired by him, and think of KJ when you are down. Think of KJ when something's not going right in your life. Think of KJ when somebody done you wrong and you didn't deserve it. Think of KJ. And just keep pedaling, y'all. Keep wading through the water. And won't nobody know if they don't look under there. If they don't look under that water, they won't know. They'll just be inspired by your story and seeing the glory. 9:05. I'm talking about the time on the look. I done shook my curls out some. But thank you all for listening. Like this post, share this post, and I'm going to put in the post here. I'm going to put where you can see more stories. Hear my comeback story at the Comeback Championship Summit. That's going to be from February 16th through the 20th.